Reflecting the religion of their ancestors, members of the Promised Land Community Club begin each meeting at the old church with prayer and a song of faith. It is the mission of the club to maintain the legacy of their ancestors who paid a painful price to establish a free African-American community in Dickson County, Tennessee.
The community was settled shortly after the Civil War, and many of those who came to live in this community came from the Cumberland Furnace. A lot of them had been slaves.
Among the founders of Promised Land were two brothers who suffered the bonds of slavery before risking their lives in a fight for their own freedom as soldiers in the USCT, United States Colored Troops.
Arch Nesbitt was a part of the 13th Infantry, and that was the infantry that built the railroad from the Kingston Spring to New Johnsonville. And of course, the railway was so important to the Civil War. John was in the service. His duty was heavy artillery. He was the one who fired the cannon. And as a result of that, he sustained some injuries that were lifelong.
It took John Nesbitt 12 years to convince the Army to compensate him for his disability. When the money was finally granted retroactively, he was able to buy the land where the old church and Promised Land School, built in 1880, now stand as monuments to the original settlement. With their farms and family-owned businesses, Promised Land became a self-sustaining community.
Right after slavery, one of the things that I see as a value system within the community was education. The community originally supported the school themselves. Churches actually hired the teachers and they paid them.
The World Wars caused a migration to the north for jobs. The school closed in 1957 when only 8 families were left in the community. But today, several of those who moved away have come back home. To them, Promised Land represents a precious heritage they pray will never be lost.
The Lord has really blessed us to be in Promised Land.
It's important to hold on to and preserve this legacy for our children and for our children's children to know where they came from. It's not many people in the U.S., especially African Americans, that can trace their roots.